So pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, my nails. It's lockdown. It's been long. I need entertainment as well as my wife. So. Okay, so we are gonna make a little homebrew today. Little hillbilly homebrew, I think. Yeah. So we're just quickly gonna do a 7-liter batch, and we're gonna do like a South African pale ale version. So first, let's start with equipment. So first thing you need is a pot. This is a I think 20-liter pot, which is good enough for 7-liter batch. Next thing you'll need is a mash tun, or in this case it's just a cooler box. So this mash tun is equipped with a little sieve pipe at the bottom, which then goes through the sidewall, which has a little tap on the side. It's important that that's sealed properly. Next thing we'll need is, this is the immersion chiller. This is homemade, just from soft coil pipe. You can actually buy from most aircon suppliers or buy it from your local homebrew store. There's 2 PVC pipes attached. And then we have a little stove. Stove can also be a gas stove. You can also do it inside. Good to mention, the reason we're doing this outside, it is quite messy. So you might have a bit of huisriesie. What is huisriesie?
You're asking the wrong guy. Bubbling.
No, house fight with your wife.
Oh yeah, okay.
Domestic violence.
There you go.
That's the one. You might have some domestic violence. Domestic discord. Yeah. Let's go politically correct. Yeah. Domestic discord. Measuring tub of some sort. This is like a 3-liter tub. We've then got another 100 ml measuring cup. Iodine-based sanitizer. This is a hydrometer. Then we've got a kitchen scale. Then we've got a food grade spoon, mixing spoon. Best to use plastic, not wood. Wood can get bacteria in, which is difficult to clean. It's about 1.5 meters of silicone tubing. A thermometer, kitchen grade thermometer that can go up to 100 degrees. A good thing to notice is with your thermometer.
Yeah.
You need to make sure where it's actually measuring. In this case, we found out with this one, it's actually measuring along the whole shaft. It's not just measuring at the tip. So it's important that the entire thermometer is submerged once you actually use it. This is a little pipette. It's not essential, but we'll see why we're going to use this. And this is what we just use is a 20-liter food grade drum with a tap on, and this is a airlock. Later we'll fit it with water. This basically, once the beer is going to be in here and busy fermenting, you don't want oxygen to get in, so this allows air to go out but now air to come back in. This is exactly like the bottom of your toilet. Then this is just something we stick on the side. You can use other thermometers. I just have another container usually close by that's got an iodine solution in. We're gonna literally just go now and sanitize everything we're gonna use. Beer making seems like a lot of fun. It's actually just a lot of cleaning all the time. Whatever you're gonna brew with, chuck them in a sanitizing solution. So those things stay in there all the time. Not necessary to sanitize immersion chiller. We put it in with the boil in order to sanitize it, so it's not necessary. Sanitation is absolutely important, because if wild yeast or a bacteria or infection gets in, it can ruin your whole batch basically, and your brew will taste like medicine without the benefits of beer or medicine. It's down to the ingredients part. So in this case we're using just a lager malt. This is crushed already, which can be crushed by your local brewery store unless you have a mill. In a 7-liter batch you're going to need 1.5 kgs of this. This is Southern Passion hops. You usually can buy it in 3 packs of 100 grams. We only need 42 grams of this. Southern Passion, grown in George, very local hop. Okay, now we're just gonna measure hops out. In this case there's 4 hop additions, same hops but with different intervals depending on if we're extracting more aroma or bitterness. So I just get little baggies, mark hop 1, hop 2, hop 3, hop 4. Good. Oh, sounds good. Hop 2. And then the last thing is Safale US 5. Depends on the beer you're making, the recipe might suggest a different type of yeast. This is different than baker's yeast. This is not the same you used to make fat cook with, so please get proper brewer's yeast. Dilute it in just what, like almost a cup of water. You'll see it gets little bubbles on top. That means that the yeast is actually being hydrated. And last thing is Irish moss. We'll only need 5 ml of this. Safe, yeah. What seems to be the easiest way to get this brew done, or to kind of set up for home brewing, is to have a 3-tiered system. So the reason for that is so we can use gravity for everything. It's the easiest way to work with, otherwise you're constantly lifting heavy pots and having to pour it over, which is dangerous. We're heating the initial water, 3.75 liters of water to 77 degrees. And we're just gonna measure the temperature quickly. Thermometer. Careful not to burn your hands. We then will transfer this water into the mash tun with the malt. We're going to leave it in there with the lid closed for an hour. This process is referred to as mashing. That will cause hopefully the starch to convert to sugar. Sugar is fermentable into alcohol. So just stir in the malt, making sure it doesn't form any clumps. Right, so what we've done in the interim that we forgot to show is we added 8 more liters of water. This we're also heating to 77 degrees. This is the water we'll use to sparge the grain or to wash the sugar out of the grain. So what we want to check now is just whether the grain has effectively, or the malt has effectively converted the starches to sugar. So easy test to do that is to just add some iodine to the solution in there, and if it turns black, it means there's still starch present. If it turns brownish, it means that the conversion to sugar has actually been successful. So we're quickly going to do that. We just take a sanitized spoon and our pipette, and I'm just going to soak up some iodine. Look in here, so we're just draining some of that, closing this, and the heat doesn't escape too much. We're dripping some of our iodine in there. Swirly. It's brown, which means the conversion to sugar has been successful. Just to show you the difference what it would have done, this is a little cake flour. If you add iodine to that, it goes pitch black. So what we're going to do now is we take a sanitized measuring cup, and we're just going to get some of this water to drain, or this malt to drain out of here. This is not 100% clear, so I'm going to pour this again through. I've run the wort and recirculated it about 3 or 4 times until there's no more grain coming through the little filter. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take this 4 runnings of mine. I'm going to put it into a sanitized brew bucket. I'm going to take the temperature that is at 77. I'm going to slowly drain this hot water into here to sparge. So there's better ways to do this with auto siphoning systems. What I do is I take a sanitized pipe. Again, sanitation very important. I put it into the water so it gets some water in the pipe. I close the top and then open the tap here. And then we but you want the water to drain to go in the same space as it's going out. What I'm just going to do now is I'm actually just going to pour this water through a few times to make sure we're extracting most of the sugar as we can through the grain. Okay, so we're going to take all this drained off wort now. We've circulated it twice through the spent grains. We're going to add this. So we're going to put this on high heat. Wait for this to start boiling. For this amount of water, it should take like 15-20 minutes to start boiling. Once it starts boiling, we will then start with hop additions. Great time now to start cleaning your cooler. There is all of this spent grain. There is a few recipes on the internet that you can find what to do with that. This is cooking nicely now, so we're going to take our hop 1, our nicely marked packets. And we're just gonna chuck that right in there, come stir it every now and then. Okay, we're 15 minutes into the boil. Hop 2 this time. Hop 2 this time. Hop 2 this time. Hop 2. 45 minutes into boil, and we're gonna add about 5 ml teaspoon. We can measure that out if we want to. And we are also lowering our immersion chiller, so this can be sanitized. Okay, 55 minutes into boil. Hop 3. Another 5 minutes. We're going to add final hops. We're going to, in the meantime, connect this to our hose pipes along, get our recycling tank closer, and so we're ready. What this does is, because our wort at this point will be at about 100 degrees when boiling, 100 degrees. If we pump water through here, this water in the tank is about 18 degrees. We want to cool this wort down as quickly as possible for 2 reasons. One is to make sure that the protein in the wort cools down rapidly and therefore settles to the bottom, so we've got a clearer beer. And secondly, so there's less time for bacteria to enter the beer. In this case, we're using water from a tank. You can also use tap water. We're gonna recycle our water and catch it again. Okay, an hour into boil. Immersion chiller is in. We're adding hop 4. So last hop addition gets no boiling. That's purely for flavor and aroma. So my hose pipe's connected to my immersion chiller. Here's exit going into this tank. We're gonna go switch on the pump. So we've started pumping water through here. You can hear it's filling into the tank. On the small batch like this, it drops very quickly, within less than 5 minutes. You can also, if you don't have immersion chiller, take this thing and put it in a bathtub of water or a bucket full of water and ice. Okay, our temperature is at 20 degrees, exactly where we want it. So we can disconnect our ice pipe and get our immersion chiller out of here. We take our fermenting bucket. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my tube, make sure this tap is closed, but I'm going to lower this in here and pull it out. Just the gravity fail me. Safe. Okay, I'll put my clean lid on there. Before then, 1 minute. Take our hydrated yeast. It smells yeasty, that's good. Chuck that in there. Then close our lid. Then all I'm going to do is I'm taking some of my sanitized liquid, I'm filling it in my airlock. That brown is not dirt, it is just iodine that makes it that color. Needs to be kept at room temperature between 18 and 22, 24 degrees. Okay, so I've taken a sample of the unfermented beer in there. Tap it into there. Color doesn't look bad. Clarity is a bit not great at the moment. We're gonna lower our hydrometer into just to check what's our original gravity. And we spot on. We're at 1040, which is exactly what we want. Another good thing to do is write your original gravity down on a piece of masking tape and stick it on your tank. But folks, that's it to make homemade beer. So much energy. Oh, what?